All right, good afternoon, cyber friends. This is Mitty Man coming at you again from Walker Studio, back at Studio B. We all, I want to say, we give God all the praise and honor as usual, and we thank Him for life, health, and strength. Thank you for all of you cyber friends, close in a circle. All of you, you know who you are. What is Mitty Man came to say to each and every one of you this morning, or I should say this afternoon. Um, Before I began to do anything, I knew I got on tonight. We got our call in Sunday school at my home church, and we will be having Sunday school at 7 o'clock this evening, and so we're already prepared, and for the duty at hand. But I was about to get ready to excuse me, y'all, to go out to my studio, back out there in Studio A, the main studio, install some software I got. And the weather looking like it might begin to pour down, and I don't want to get caught in the rain because I cannot get wet. I do not want to get wet because I cannot run anymore. So I have to take my time. Even if I got caught in the rain, I would have to take my time still to get back inside. So I decided I would just detain that for a minute or two and maybe do it later if I can. If not, well, we won't worry about it. But in the process of doing that, I went to YouTube and looked at trying to look at the feed that I had on my particular page and everything, and I saw there a feed there of Patti LaBelle, where she was singing "Walk Around Heaven," and I also saw a JPEG there with the preview of one of my favorite all-time group members, singers from the Temptations, the last of the original members, if I'm not mistaken, to yet be alive, is Otis Williams, and I think maybe Dennis Edwards might still be living. I'm not certain, but I do know Otis is yet with us, and I saw there where Otis have gotten together a new set of Temptation, and I was glad. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was glad because see, I see that everybody not have just laid down and died. That we got people that are yet doing things. They are doing stuff and yet being innovative and yet being creative and everything, and not just giving up on everything. And I love that. I went on and checked that movie out. I checked the video out that Otis had uploaded. I don't know whether Otis uploaded it or not. I did not. I forgot to check to see exactly where the video came from. But I do know that Otis was. It was in a tribute to Juneteenth. Those of you that know what Juneteenth is all about, I won't go into the explanation of that. But at any rate, he had his new set of Temptation. They was all gathered, and in which I do believe it was his residence. He had them at his home, and they had a guy on the keys, and then they had a guy beating the little portable drum-like thing and everything with the percussion. That's exactly what it was like, sort of like a percussion set that sits between the legs of the person that's playing it. In other words, and they were singing, and I don't forgot now exactly the song. I meant to keep it in mind, but I'll go back and find it. But it was one of the tunes I think came from I forget. I want to say Simon and Garfunkel tune "You Got a Friend." I don't know if that was Simon and Garfunkel or was it some other singer, but I think that's the song that they were singing. "You Got a Friend," and I liked it. In other words, it ain't so much about whether or not I like the song, but what I like the idea of them yet doing their thing. In other words, the people that have not given up on life. They're not giving up on life, and I'm glad to see that. And then I looked at Patti LaBelle. This was an episode of Praise the Lord. I think when it got to the end, I found out it was an episode where one of the other pastors, Bishop Bloomer, I think his name, out of North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, they was on there on TV and on the Praise the Lord program, and they had Patti LaBelle Patty was an awesome sister. That woman could sing and still can sing. I mean, that's awesome singing. And she sung one of the old Cosetta Jordan, Jane Cleveland tune, "Walk Around Heaven," and it was very inspiring. And so I that let me know that everybody has not just stopped living, and I like that. I like that because I like to teach hope, and it really it gives me inspiration to want to keep going. Because I said to myself when I saw that, I said, "Wow, at least I'm not by myself." When I said there are new things on the horizon, that's for the topic of this video. I really didn't even plan this here. Now I didn't plan this at all. It just came together like it was supposed to, because this is what I believe that God wants us to keep our mindset on, not giving up, but trying to find new ways of doing things. And now, my side friend, y'all know my inner circle. Y'all know I've been telling y'all that for the last few weeks, that middleman is trying to find new ways to accomplish end results, good results, not no bad results, but good results. But the only way that you're going to be able to do anything, you're going to have to step out. You're going to step out. And if I'm not mistaken, that was a song, a gospel song many years ago. And I don't forgot now who sang the song. I want to say my church choir did it, but I'm not for certain, y'all. But it was called a song called "I Stepped Out." Stepped out on his promise. I believe that's what it was. But I know my church choir, one of them, I don't know whether it was choir 3 or choir number 2, but one of them did that song years ago. And it's called "Stepped Out." And see, that's what God wants us to do. See, Peter had to step out. Peter could have stayed in the boat just like the rest of the disciples, but Peter had faith and he stepped out of the boat. Therefore, he walked on the water. The only other man other than Jesus that ever walked on water was Peter. Why? Because he stepped out. See, in other words, it's easy to stay saved, but you ain't gonna never do nothing. I mean, people that accomplish great things in life, they are the ones who take risks. You got to take risks. Even, I mean, I'm a business major. I was a business major as well as a music major. And I know how the world of business kind of run a little bit, too. See, in other words, stock, people who invest in stock, the ones who take the most risk makes the most money. See, in other words, you don't want to take no risk. You come on, y'all. Hey, you can be safe and get you a bond, but it ain't gonna yield. It ain't gonna yield like that stock because it's got more risk involved in the stock. So therefore, when you make a gain on the stock market, you don't really gain stuff. But a bond, it yields over time. In other words, you might get a 5-year barrel bond, 5-year bond. In other words, take it that with so many percent interest a year. Well, that's all you're gonna get. But on the other hand, when you go into in those volatile stocks and everything, well, a lot of risk is at hand, is involved. You tend to make the most money right there, but you also could lose a lot right there. But that's how come it pays so much more than the dividends on a bond. But at any rate, I don't know why I just throw that in there for as a sidebar. But I'm so glad that I did see, which I was going to see it anyway because it was going to automatically come to me, how Otis have, after all these years, he still got him a set of temptation. And they are just about to get ready to go out and do a concert in a few weeks. They're going to do a concert with some of the surviving members and perhaps more new members of the Four Tops. And I mean that's amazing to me, and I'm tickled pink because of that. And it also is a way to give y'all my word for the day. As of that, this goes to show us that you don't have to stop living because of circumstance. God never meant for that to be. In other words, we are supposed, and I told y'all this in my Bible study, the same thing. You are supposed to assert a thing, look at it, analyze a thing, take precaution, do what you need to do, but don't ever stop living. Don't ever stop living. And I think right now that's how come I tell you the truth. You can be you can be on the telephone with certain people, and the whole talk, the interest level don't get above 40% because people are just have let this stuff just done downtrodden them, got them in a mold where they just full of doom and gloom. Well, I'm not gonna let myself get that way. Nah, I don't like that. I don't like that. But whatever I can do, whatever little bit of I can do, if I can just sit here and hit two keys on this keyboard back here to keep my mind regulated and keep myself on the upbeat level, I do that before I just lay down and die. I'm gonna die when I can't help myself. But while God got breath in my body, I shall live. And then you are not living when you just sitting around day by day, and not, no aspiration, no motivation at all. Some of us, we just going through the motion. Well, because we can't do this no more. We can't do, well, yeah, there's a lot of people that can't do. All of us in the same boat. None of us is able right now. None of us are able to do some of the things that we once have done, but that don't mean you stop living. You found a new way to do the same thing, or either better than that, find a new way to do things altogether. That's how come I'm doing this video. You look at the title of my video. Look at the title of my video. In other words, now you look at the title of the video, that'll tell you exactly what new things on the horizon. In other words, find a new way. This is what Otis did. See, his old Tim, David and Eddie, all them gone. He can't bring them back. So he got him some new Tims in order to do the same thing that they were doing back in the 60s. And they yet doing it because song and singing haven't changed. It's still the same. You just got to get somebody to know how to do it. That's all you got to do. Now, in other words, I'm quite sure these guys are not trying to be like David and Eddie, because they cannot be like David and Eddie. There was only one David Ruffin and only one Eddie Kendricks. You might get somebody to try to sound like them, and then some of them can come pretty close, but they still won't be David and Eddie. I'm quite sure that Otis didn't have that in mind when he formed the New Temptation. He didn't have that in mind of trying to bring back Eddie and David. He was bringing back an idea. In other words, he was not going to let the idea of the Temptation die. Yes, Ed and David gone, but Otis is still with us. So Otis still remembers the spirit of the first group. So he's trying to keep that spirit alive. That's the only thing we all should be doing. Those of us that wants to do so. See, people, let me tell y'all something. You cannot, and I repeat this, I'm going to say this over and over until I leave here. I say it until God take me away. You cannot, how would I say this without being, because I want to give people at least due credit. You cannot force innovation on a person. You cannot force them to have inspiration and ideas. You can't do it. You cannot, if a person has made up their mind that they're going to be, most of us like to sit around and feel sorry for ourselves. That's what most of us want to do. Well, all of us could do that. That ain't going to solve nothing. But somebody got to make a move. In other words, it got to be innovative and got to say, now look, okay, it's just like those lepers. Those guys that were lepers on the outside of the gate of Jerusalem, they could have sat out there and all of them would have died eventually because they had leprosy. All of them would have sat right there and died. But look what those lepers said. I think it was 4 of them. They said, look, if we sit here, we going to die. If we go back in the city, because in the city of Jerusalem, it was a famine. He said, we go back in there, we surely going to die because it's a famine back in there. He said, but if we get up from here and go on towards Samaria, in other words, they said, if we go on towards Samaria, we might just live. See, in other words, and if y'all follow that story, those lepers went toward the enemy. They went walking toward the enemy. And because of their faith, and when they was walking toward the enemy camp, God confused the enemy and made them 4 lepers' footsteps sound like a massive army. And those people got up and they got scared. They ran. They were killing each other. They ran because they thought a greater army was coming. And it wasn't nobody but 4 lepers. And when those lepers got to the camp, everything that they had was left there. And the old guy became rich in just a few minutes. They had all those possessions, all that gold and silver, all that food. When it was a famine back in the Jerusalem, they had plenty to eat and some to spare. They had plenty. So they could have kept it for themselves, but they didn't. They wasn't selfish. They went back to Jerusalem and told them about it. And then all them came out and they got all that abundance that was out there because why? You had 4 guys that were dying, got up and decided that they would go toward the enemy. And look how that situation was turned around. God turned it around. Why? Because they refused to just sit and die. See, that's what a lot of us are doing. We sitting down and just dying instead of trying to have an idea. Look, let's go forward. We don't know what we may get to when we get there. Like my great-grandmama used to tell me something. I never will forget it, as long as I live. She used to tell me, Ernest, don't drown yourself before you get to the creek. I didn't know what she meant at that time. But she always used to say, don't drown yourself before you get to the creek. In other words, you don't know. People always talk about this. Well, I bet you did. You don't know what will happen until you get there. In other words, wait and see. Put your trust in God and move forward and wait and see. Well, I don't believe it's going to work. Well, if it don't work, you ain't lost nothing because ain't nothing working for you now. So if you get up off your butt and move forward, you never know what may happen. Now, you can't make nobody do nothing. Now, you can't make people go with you, but go yourself. Those 4 lepers, they got up from that gate, said, why should we sit here until we die? So let's move. And they got up. And look what happened. Same thing that happened for you and me. And anybody else that that will fail to just believe. See, that's our point, people. We say we do, but not really. If you really believe, your action will show it. And that's how come I said I was just so thrilled to see that Otis video this morning and how he had done. I already knew he had done for him some more temptation, but not to this capacity. I didn't know it had got to like this. And they finna go out and go on and do a concert with some of the old Four Tops. So that is a milestone. And then to see our sister Patti LaBelle, awesome. That woman can sing. Patty's always could sing. Patti could sing always. I remember she did a song back in the 80s with Michael McDonald. They did a duet called On My Own. I love that song to this very day. The girl can blow. And I call her a girl respectively. Because Patti LaBelle just older than my mama. Patti probably older than my mama, about a year or so. But I say girl respectively because it's Miss Patti LaBelle. In other words, I give her that respect, but the woman can sing, and she been doing it for years, and yet going on. So I'm saying all us people we yet in our 50s and 40s and stuff, and we done gave up. This woman's in her 70s and still blowing. So now, what's your excuse? It ain't no excuse, people. It ain't no excuse. But look to Jesus and live. Live. Every day that we are set, that's a gift. And we should be doing something with it instead of that wasting away. Now, that's just my opinion. Even if it ain't nobody that get up and bake a cake, do something with the life that God has given us. Amen. That being said, this middleman saying whatever you get into, if God ain't in it, my brothers and sisters, get out of it because it's going to come to nothing. Now, I'm going to try to get this software installed one way or the other. I may not be able to get out to the studio today because, like I said, I can't go out there and get caught in the rain because I can't not run. And so we'll just wait and see. But at any rate, got not Bible study, but we got Sunday school tonight online on the call in with my church members and the Young Missionary Baptist Church, and our pastor Christopher Williams. And we just thank God that we're going to go ahead on and get able to look forward to at least doing that. They give you something to look forward to, y'all. Give you something to look forward to. So with that being said, as I already stated, whatever you get into it, God, and then it come out of it, it's going to come to nothing. Till the next video, next Bible study. Peace and good day.